welcome into the Around the Horns podcast. It's your boy, your main man, Mario. And Tuesday... Wait, Mario. We are not at the official home of the Around the Horns network. We have had to relocate. Winter is in full force, and Punxsutawney Phil said, F you, Fuel and Iron Food Hall. We had to come on down to the second home, away from home, PIA and Event Center here, making a nice little cozy place for the pod. How you feeling, dude?
Good. I mean, a change of pace a little bit. I mean, it's always nice to get, some new scenery. We got the youth practice behind us. We got some fans out in the stands. We're rocking some new Jays. We got a lot going on, so I'm feeling pretty good.
We got a lot to cover, and obviously we'll get to the jersey portion of it, but let's talk hockey. And to do so, let's give it up for our period one guest, Bulls head coach Chris Wilhite. The crowd goes wild. Coach, how are you, man? Welcome in.
Yeah, thanks for having me back, guys. It's a little cold outside, a little cold in here, but I'm warmer with you guys by my side, so thanks, fellas.
That is a super
Coach Wilhite sandwich, baby.
Yeah, just in time for Valentine's Day, too, making me feel all nice and warm inside. But, Coach, let's rewind a little bit. Let's talk about the road trip. Obviously, exactly the way you want to go on the road, to make a couple of statements. What went well for you? How high of a high was this weekend? And how do you regroup? What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, it was a good weekend. Came into Casper. Hit a bit of blizzard the first night. We had, I think we had 25 to 30 fans there, so it honestly, for our guys, it felt like a home game. Our guys got to salute after the game, so it was a little different on the road, but our guys loved it. It was a good 4 points for our guys, and honestly, the mindset is just from here on in, it's playoff mentality to put a ring on their finger, so every game I expect that they come in, doesn't matter who they're playing, but just to come in and do your job and walk out of that rink with 2 points.
And it's important every time you go on the road, but it may be even more important this weekend. You've got one of the top teams in your division in Idaho coming in with 4 important points on the line, 2 of your last 4 home games of the regular season. You say it's playoff mentality. Idaho knows it's playoff mentality. They slip and give up 4 points, and you're right there in the driver's seat in the Mountain Division. How important are these 2 games for you? How do you prep the boys for it?
Yeah, we just got to have a good week. We've had a good couple days so far. Have some new blood coming in, so when that happens, our guys are always alert. They're fresh, they're ready. It's going to be a great weekend. It's always good hockey when we play Idaho. They're very well coached. I know him really well, and he's going to have their guys ready to go and come into our building. But I believe Brownie said it last weekend. It's hard for teams to come in here. It's really hard for guys to come into this building and play with our fans. Utah felt a little bit of that last weekend or 2 weekends ago when they had to come here. It's just different. Our atmosphere is different than what you play in this division and in this league. And I can't say enough about our great fans. They're the best in the world, and I expect another weekend from them. But for us, it's just bear down and do your job. It's going to be a close game. There's not going to be blowouts. It's going to be the team that minimizes the mistakes the most. You got to play the right way. You got to be damn near perfect. And our guys are ready for that. That's kind of been the message this week is execute when you can execute and minimize the mistakes within practice as well. Those good habits will lead to this weekend, and I believe it's going to be a good one for our team and our fans.
And going back to our fans, this is a special weekend. I mean, it's Valentine's weekend, so it's a weekend of love.
Love is in the air, Mario.
Absolutely. And so these fans are going to love seeing the Bulls really put out a great showing. I think that, to your point, from day one, since the Spud Kings have been in existence, we've had some really good tilts right here in this barn. And I think the fans have come to expect that. And I think based on what I'm hearing right now is you have plans to make sure that those fans aren't disappointed with Bulls hockey and that tilt with the Spud Kings. But more importantly, as we talk about love, I know you're really focused on the game. I know you're super locked into pulling out those 4 points. But let's talk about some other things you're pulling out for Valentine's Day. Any special plans with the missus?
Yeah, Bulls hockey.
Okay,
she gets to enjoy another night in the arena. Hopefully she stays out of the mischief. with the other team. But again, if you want to pull that kind of stuff with our fans, our workers, our officials, they're going to have each other's back and they're going to take care of business. So she's ready for another good weekend. She loves when we come home with 2 points. It's a lot better household. It's a lot happier Chris. But no, love is in the air and it should be a good weekend.
Well, it's going to be a great weekend of hockey, but as Mario said earlier, you also got a ton of things going on. We're rocking the official jerseys for this weekend. United Way coming in and having a super weekend, Mario. There's going to be photo ops. There's going to be a special intro, so you'll want to be in your seat early for this game. And you've got the guys flying around in front of what's going to be a sold-out crowd. You talked about being perfect, minimizing the mistakes when you've got an amped up crowd, when you've got a team that wants to get under your skin. What do you say as a coach, and how far do you let the guys go before they push that line of showing out for a sold-out crowd and in their final couple of home games this season and not getting a stupid penalty ending up in the box on the PK?
Yeah, you always have to control your emotion in that aspect, right? It's still a hockey game. There's still rules to be played. But we're a team, since we've existed, we're a team that likes to be in your face. There's no secret. We haven't been it's not like we've always put the most skilled team together. We're a team that one, the city loves to watch. They love the scrums. They love the fights, and that's
the
just
grit.
The grit.
The down and dirty.
Yep, and that's one thing that we've always been built on. Our staff is about it. It's still junior hockey. It's still big boy hockey, and if you can get under a team's skin and do it the right way, it'll go a long way. It'll go a long way, and teams will get frustrated. Teams will take bad penalties, and when you have the Twins on the power play, you're bound to score, right? And so for us, you got to know that line. You got to play the right way. You got to do what you got to do to get under the team's skin, but not take your mindset out of what we're trying to do. And we always have a game plan. We have systems to play within. Obviously, guys do it better than others. Guys want to be in it. But you just got to know that line, and you can't be taking 5-minute major penalties at the end of the game.
Now, I want to ask you a question, and I want to also hearken back to maybe a little influence that Mario and I had on your road series this weekend. We have what we like to call around here the podcast bump. And if you remember our guest from last week, J-Mac, number 19, new guy to the team, showed up on Tuesday night, and then showed out on Friday night, and then showed out on Saturday night, and ended up with 2 goals on the weekend. J-Mac gets them up, obviously feeling good on that side of things. If we're going to have 2 guests that are getting the bump, let's give him a third. So who does Coach Wilhite say is going to have the podcast bump this weekend, aside from our period 2 and 3 guest?
I think Jimmy Zeisel is going to have a good weekend. I think 12's going to have a big weekend for us. I don't believe he's, point-wise, had the year that he expected he was going to have. And there's nobody really that loves playing at home more than Jimmy Z. And with it being 2 of our last 4 home games, I believe the kid's going to show out, and he's going to be exactly what he wants to be.
12, you heard it here first. Show up, show out, get the podcast bump, and maybe we'll have you back on here when we're at our home next week. But we'll have to see how this weekend unfolds. Coach Wilhite, thanks for always making time, hanging out with us. Best of luck to you this weekend.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Bulls fans, don't go anywhere. Period 2 and period 3 with more Pueblo Bulls hockey on the official place for all things Pueblo Bulls, the Around the Horns podcast. Bulls fans, welcome back to the Around the Horns podcast, period 2 time, and it is time to bring back prime time in period 2. And normally I would say Bulls fans give it up, but we'll just do it for our period 2 guest, Hunter Bill. Woo!
How's it going, guys?
That's the energy we need, Billy. Welcome back to the pod. How you been, man?
I've been good. How you guys been?
Good. Loving life. We're just hanging out. We're having a super time getting ready for this weekend's tilt against the Idaho Falls Spud Kings. But before we talk about the future, let's talk about this last weekend on the road against the War Turds in Casper, sweeping up the rink, 4 points. How good did that weekend feel on the road?
Oh, it was just a weekend we needed. We haven't been too great on the road, but this weekend I felt was just really good, and we just got to be consistent throughout on our away weekends.
And we were talking with Coach just a few minutes ago. He talked about how every single series from this point out is playoff hockey. And I think you know how important this series is against Idaho Falls, coming into your home rink with 4 points on the line. And you are this close to taking control of the driver's seat in the Mountain Division, the team right above you up in the standings. How important has that been in the locker room this week? How are guys kind of laser focusing in on this team that really is within your grasp?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I just think we got to keep everything consistent throughout this week. Like, we're really focusing on details and just every day just trying to grow, and it's just going to help us in the end and being able to be a great playoff team.
Let me ask you, so first of all, welcome back, because I believe you're one of the very first guests this season, so it's been a while. But speaking about this weekend and a little bit looking forward, so how much time have you spent in the sin bin, and how much time are we looking forward to, if any, this weekend?
Hopefully none this weekend. I do have a decent amount in the sin bin, not on purpose all the time, but
not on accident
either. I don't know.
either.
You Bulls fans can check the stats on who has the most. I don't know if I do or Carson, but we'll see.
So let me ask you, when you get there, because I know you like to mix it up.
Yeah.
You're a psychological guy. You want to get in their heads.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
want to mess with their minds.
100%.
If you could, like, give the viewers a little bit, a taste, a PG-13 taste of a famous Billy Boy chirp that really sets some of the guys on the other team off.
Just maybe ask him how his day's going and just give him a good old smile. The smile, laugh always gets them.
The smile is what kills me.
It kills everyone. It's
You will
just a
get
smile.
crunched up in front of the crease. Every guy on their team comes over and just cross-checks the hell out of you till you're in a pile on the ground. You come up out of the scrum and you smile all your way to the bench. I don't know
100%.
how you maintain the
Can't look
composure.
defeated.
Yeah, whatever
Can't
it
look
is,
defeated.
dude. It is probably the most psychopathic behavior I've ever seen on the ice, and it's cool
sick.
that you're on
It's
our
sick.
team.
Yeah.
I'm like mentally sick.
Yeah, no, we've
good sick.
We've accomplished that, and we are unofficially naming the period of the show where we just sit and wait for 4 minutes at a time, the Billy block of the show, because usually it's anywhere from 2 to 4 minutes. You're just sitting alone with your thoughts. So Mario and I are going to do that moving forward. The Billy block will be at the end of this week's show. All jokes aside,
We're not starting this right now.
we could just sit in silence for 4
2
minutes.
minutes of silence.
I don't know if our fans would really love that.
Okay, time lapse
All right.
complete now.
There it is. There it
Next
is.
question, though. The mentality shifts this late in the season. Obviously, we were just talking with Coach about fine-tuning some of these details. He said you've got to be nearly perfect against a team like the Spud Kings to come away with one win, let alone trying to get both big dubs this weekend. What are you changing in your game? How do you kind of take some of that to the locker room, and what are you guys focusing on?
So just your demeanor towards everything, like day in and day out, like we practice the exact same way every day, and it's just being able to do those reps at 100% every day and just being consistent with it, and it just helps everybody throughout the weekend. So
Now, I also want to ask, this late in the season, obviously there has never been a captain named this season. I think it's been really by committee. There have been a ton of guys that have stepped up vocally, a lot of guys that show that leadership skill. But at this point in the season, if there was a guy who has to come in, wrangle the troops, and really rally you all on the point that this team wants to win a championship and has what it takes to win a championship, who's that guy that's leading the charge a lot of the time, and who do you kind of look up to when you're needing the center back?
honestly, day in and day out, like I watch him, first guy on the ice, last guy off the ice, always consistent. Clarkie's always consistent, always repetition after repetition. So he just wants to get better, and he wants to push everybody in the right direction. So I think that really strives us to get better. So.
Well, we love that because I'm a huge Clarkie fan. Tristan, I'm trying to get him on board with that, but it's been a love-hate relationship. He's fully aware of it, but good on you, Clarkie. Yeah. So now, going into this weekend, seeing that you're facing the number one team in the division, there's obviously, nerves. There's worry, there's concern, but you get to do it in your own barn. And you know how these fans turn out. And obviously, or maybe not, that this is Valentine's weekend. I know you struggle in the dating department, or so I've heard.
Whoa. I've had a girlfriend.
When you were 6.
No,
but we're
no,
talking
no.
about as an adult now.
No, I actually got Jimmy as girlfriend because my girlfriend came with Avery.
Yeah, it's true. I did meet her.
Yeah.
And she's lovely.
So I had
You
a
can do
little
better,
alley-oop.
sweetheart. I'm just going to
It
say.
was just a little alley-oop for Jimmy. Backdoor tap in. But, Jimmy pulls
phrasing.
his own.
But how? Let's just get that. So this is a weekend of love, of Valentine's, and you get to do this battle in front of the home crowd. How important and how much weight and relief do you feel being able to face them this late in the season at home?
Yeah, I think we're just a super confident team at home like we have been all year, and our record proves that. And we just got the best fan base and honestly one of the best buildings here. Like the energy and everything, it just doesn't die. And it lives with us on the bench, and we play a full 60-minute game. So.
Well, let me ask you this too. It not only is Friday Valentine's Day, but it's also the Heroes United Way game, and we're repping your superhero jerseys. What do you think of the Jays this year? What do you think of these sweaters?
Unreal. I think they look really cool.
Yeah?
I think the Superman fit looks right on. Yeah.
Very good. So, that being said, if you had a superpower on the ice, what would you be bringing to the ice? What kind of powers this weekend are you going to bring?
I think.
Hopefully not sitting in the box.
Whenever I shoot, I score. I think that's my superpower. Whenever I have the opportunity to shoot, I score.
All right, let's go. Let's see. Let's put the shots up.
We talked about the podcast bump, and I don't know if you're an avid watcher of the pod. I assume you are,
always.
as every Bulls player is. But we had J-Mac on here, period 2 last week. Guy ended up with 2 goals in 2 games this weekend. So I don't know if the podcast bump is linear, like if it's 2 goals for everyone that shows up, but you have the chance to one-up him. Can we count on 3 points from you this weekend?
Yeah, let's bank on it. Let's go for 3 points, huh?
3 points easy.
We gotta outdo Macker.
Oh, let's do it. Outdo Macker on the weekend of love. Billy, I got to thank you for coming in. It's always a great time to have you on. This weekend,
sorry we woke you up from your nap too.
It's all right.
I really
That's
apologize. We for the fans don't know, we were sitting here waiting. This recording is delayed because we said,
fans.
where is Hunter Bill? And Hunter Bill was in bed in his pajamas, dreaming of snowflakes and fireplaces.
There's a crazy snowstorm going on, so thought everything was canceled. Sorry, fans.
Where are you from?
Green Bay, Wisconsin.
You think that's crazy? Snowstorm you're from Green Bay.
I saw the text. I was like, everything's canceled. Hit the snooze button.
Everything's canceled now. We're closing it down.
He
now.
said 6 more weeks of winter and 6 more hours of sleep. Give it up for our period 2 guest, Punxsutawney Bill.
Thank you, guys.
Billy, thanks for being here. Best of luck to you, man.
Also, congratulations. 12,000 views this month. Right
Thank
on.
you. Thank
right
you.
On.
We appreciate it.
Keep viewing.
We're proud of that.
We will be back, Bulls fans, with our period 3 guest on the official place for all things Pueblo Bulls hockey, the Around the Horns podcast. Bulls fans, welcome back to the Around the Horns podcast, period 3 time, and we are feeling a little nostalgic today on the pod, Mario. I think this is our first time bringing 2 guests back, but we had to bring it back to some of those early guests on, so if he doesn't look familiar, welcome him back, Bulls fans. Our period 3 guest, Nolan.
Thank you guys for having me.
G, how are you, dude?
Doing well. How are you guys doing?
Good. We're glad to have you on the pod. Obviously, an exciting weekend of hockey behind us. A good weekend on the road against Casper. A good weekend for you. Talk about what went well. A couple of points on the weekend. What were you seeing? What felt different for you?
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought everybody's just feeling bought in. We know that this last stretch is really important. Got to win games. So I think everybody was just dialed and ready to go. And those are 4 points you need to get going out to Casper. So went out there and did it. I just tried to do my job and ended up with a point or 2. So.
Yeah, just a point or 2, just do my job. But Coach talked about it in period 1 here. Every player's got to do their job from here on out. He talked about this weekend being the beginning of playoff hockey. He talked about it 2 weeks ago that it was playoff hockey. I think he's instilled it in you guys. Mm-hmm. Playoff mentality from this point moving forward. And you've got 2 chances against the number 1 team in the division. Idaho is a team that plays you tough all the time. They come in here and they feed off the energy as well. They've got a bigger barn than us. They may have more butts in the seats, but we've heard from a couple couple of guys, and former Spud Kings, if you will, that it's just not the atmosphere you've got here in Pueblo. So
Not
how do
much
you
energy.
harness that energy? How do you make sure that you protect the barn this weekend and show out for the fans in front of the Spud Kings?
Yeah, I think, like Chris says, it's playoff hockey now, so when you have a home game, you got to make the most of it. You got to feed off your fans' energy, and obviously they're going to be cheering loud for us, so we're just going to try and do what we can, and should come home with 4 points.
And so you were on earlier in the season, as Tristan alluded to earlier. It's been a while. Now you're back. What's changed about you and your game? What's different than the Will Nolan we talked to earlier in the season?
I think the big thing's just confidence. I played near 30 games now, so I obviously know the speed, the pace, everything like that. So kind of just have more belief in myself and more chemistry with my teammates. And so, yeah, I think confidence is probably the biggest part of hockey, and I've just gained some more as the year's gone on. So,
and we talked to Billy earlier in the second period, and we talked about this weekend it's Valentine's Day. We've got a lot going on. We've got the Heroes United. There's a lot going on, and this barn will be rocking. How important is it for you personally to hear that crowd get crazy and show their belligerence and their just rowdiness out there for you guys?
Oh, yeah, it's awesome. I feed off the energy, so, the louder the fans are, the harder I play, and, it just dials me in, gets me ready to go, so.
And then these sweaters, too. You've seen the superhero sweaters.
Yeah.
How you feeling about these?
Oh, I think they're sweet. We got the socks, too. It's gonna be butter.
So, yeah, it is. Butter. So let me ask you this. I have some personal stake in this, so I ask, of all the jerseys, especially jerseys you guys have rocked this year, what's number 1 and 2 for you?
I would say number 1 would have to be the military night jerseys. I thought those were really cool. And
I didn't even see it. You guys were impossible to see with that camouflage.
Yeah, the camo, and obviously great cause for that. So those were huge. And then, I think these ones are pretty cool. Might be second on my list. Yeah.
All right, got to ask because, again, personal stake.
Yeah, personal stake. Stroke the ego a little bit.
Don't make me kick your ass, dude.
Mario asked an iteration of this question earlier. He asked Billy what his superpower would be. I'll shift gears and say, are you a fan of superheroes? Growing up, now, if you had a superhero, you said, that's my guy or girl, who's your favorite superhero?
Spider-Man, for sure. I love Spider-Man. Big fan since I was a kid, still a big fan. So
we find a lot of fans on the pod when we sign off, right? We do this and then point at the camera, and everybody who does this thing, we know they grew up with one of those, like the Spider-Man shooters.
Yeah.
Or Marty Wakelin. He for one time he gave us a shaka. He's like, "Go Bulls!" And then one time he gave the Spidey shot. He's done some weird hand gestures, some that are probably not safe to use in public.
Yeah, inappropriate a lot of the time. But Spider-Man, good call. Mario, your favorite superhero is?
Oh, I'm such a comic book nerd. It's really hard for me to pick one. Growing up, though, Batman was my go-to forever and ever. But also over on the Marvel side, I'm a big X-Men fan. I like all the X-Men. That was the mutants with all their powers, Cyclops, Wolverine, Storm, those guys. Love them.
Yeah. Put some respect on Captain Underpants. That's all I'm saying. That dude is up there as my favorite. Like the flip book when you were a kid, you could see him just, okay, Captain Underpants, my guy.
Yikes.
Will, heading into this weekend, you got a packed house. And then you got Bulls fans watching at home on Flow TV. Knowing how much this weekend means to you guys, go ahead and look at them right in the eye and tell them how important it is to be here this weekend and what they can expect.
Super important to be here this weekend. You can expect 2 great games out of us and hopefully some physicality and 2 big wins.
That's easy. You don't have to listen to me. You just listen to our Period 3 guest, Will Nolan. Get your tickets, get in the seats Friday and Saturday night, and watch your boys. G, it's always great to have you on the pod. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Bulls fans, you are not going to want to miss this weekend. We have got special edition jerseys that you can bid on now. Visit PuebloBullsHockey.com, find the jersey auction link, and bid on them now. Bid on them often. That will close Friday night just before the beginning of the third period. We got special events planned, some Valentine's Day specials, and you don't want to miss it. You can be here at the PIA and Event Center Friday and Saturday night. Doors open at 6, puck drops at 7, and if you do have to miss it, we'll hopefully be back at our home, Fuel and Iron Food Hall, next Tuesday night at 6 o'clock for the recording of the pod.
But I would say this, Tristan, we don't want to go home yet. I think we need to go into some overtime and talk about this weekend a little more in depth. What do you say?
We'll do that on the official place for all things Pueblo Bulls hockey, the Around the Horns Network. Bulls fans, welcome back to the Around the Horns podcast. It's an OT period because with such a super weekend, we had to have a super show for you, and we are bringing in an OT guest, a friend of the pod, a longtime friend of the network from United Way, Chris Wilhite. Chris, how are you, dude?
I'm doing fantastic. We'll say super fantastic for the week.
That is on brand for us. And we are the super dorks in the jerseys, and you just get to rock your logo here, so maybe super awkward for
I don't know,
Mario
man.
and
I'm
I.
He's a little jealous right now.
of the Jays.
Yeah.
For sure. Those are pretty sick.
I'm sure we'll be seeing him wearing one soon.
Yeah, I just hope he wears pants over the spandex because when he tried it on before the pod, it was a little revealing. They talked about the socks that match with the Jays. With the tights, it's a little much, but
And
be
his
here Friday and
youth
see.
practice is going on right now, and some kids had to go home scarred.
Yeah. So, Chris, thanks for joining us, man.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for making this weekend happen. Obviously, the United Way and the Pueblo Bulls have been official community partners for years now. And the work that you're able to accomplish with the help of the team, with the help of the boys that come through year after year, they buy in to what you guys do at United Way. What makes a weekend like this so special, and how pumped are you for it?
Well, we couldn't have asked for a better community partner in the Pueblo Bulls organization themselves and what the team does and the organization does in the community. It was kind of a no-brainer for United Way to partner with that organization, and the way they've bought into helping the entire community as a whole has been fantastic. And we're just excited to bring an event like this to partner with the Pueblo Bulls to honor so many heroes in the community, throughout the year. So we're super pumped about that.
Well, let me ask you too, Chris. Like, United Way has done some pretty big games. We've seen a Star Wars night that was pretty big. Last year we did our Love United that was in the same weekend
Right.
for Valentine's. But this year with the Heroes United, it's not just coming to the hockey game, sitting down, maybe bidding on some specialty jerseys. We got a whole night planned.
Yeah.
We got some exciting stuff. Why don't you tell the viewers and the listeners just what we've got in
Well,
store?
United Way is all about collaboration. So we added some additional partners for the Heroes United event, and it's going to be an epic time. We've got some folks dressed in costume, bring some live superheroes to the event.
And let me interrupt real quick. They're going to be here professionally dressed as superheroes, but we'd like to encourage people, come out in your superhero best.
That's right.
You've been dressing up like superheroes for Halloween and different parties. Like, come out, celebrate with it, right?
Yeah, and even if you're not in costume, you'll wear your favorite superhero attire and help us fill this place and cheer on the Pueblo Bulls in super attire, right? We also partnered with the Pueblo Library as well, and they're going to be handing out some comic books for the kids.
Sweet.
We've got an epic photo booth where we're going to have some life-size action figures, right? Some appearances from Iron Man and Spider-Man. So it's going to be amazing.
And maybe some trickle in Captain America and Thor items as well.
Items as well, exactly.
Man, it's going to be sweet. I'm excited to be here for the weekend, but I wanted to jump on Mario's line of questioning there. It has felt like, and I know you two have a deeper tie to United Way, I'm just here with the Bulls every time United Way rolls in, and they tear the house down. I remember that Star Wars night a couple of years ago. Every person in the place had a lightsaber. This place blew up when that game went on, and I didn't think it could get any bigger. Then Love United last year ended up being even cooler. The Teddy Bear Toss, a great partnership with United Way
Right.
every night. It just seems to bring that energy. I know you've been here hanging out with the boys, watching them talk about how much this arena means to them and how much this point in the season is truly playoff hockey. This place is going to be packed with Bulls fans.
Yeah.
You know you're bringing the hottest crowd to this arena this weekend.
Yeah.
How cool is that to give them the push they need, knowing that they just said it. They feed off the energy of the crowd, and United Way's providing.
I mean, it's super exciting to be able to give, add to that element, especially in the push for playoffs for the Pueblo Bulls, and bring in super energy to the event center is going to be outstanding. We're super excited. Yeah.
And then, Chris, finally, when it's all said and done, when you look about over this weekend and you talk about, hey, we had the great Jays, we gave away comic books, we had photo, like really, what is it that the United Way hopes to get out of this when it's all said and done? I mean, to me, it seems like we have the fun, to Tristan's point. We bring the rowdiness, we bring like a high level, but it's really about that experience, right? It's about having memories and creating that and just being part of something in our community.
Yeah, that's a huge part of it. Adding that extra element and the icing on the cake for the event, but also this theme for the year for us, Superheroes theme, was extra special. We wanted to highlight superheroes in our community and really what they've done and contributed, and not just from a donor side, but we also partner with the health department, and they have a program called Everyday Heroes, as you are very familiar with, Tristan, and so we brought them in as well to highlight those everyday heroes, because those are your neighbors, those are your men and women that are serving the community each and every day that don't get that recognition, and really bringing that superhero element. Highlighting those folks in the community is really something that we'd like to make an impact with.
Well, I'm excited to see how things unfold here at the PIA and Event Center. If you can't keep from the excitement taking over, check out what United Way has planned. Visit their Facebook, visit their website, check out their Instagram. I think you guys are pumping this event up like it's going to be the party of the century.
Yeah.
So, Chris, thanks for taking the time to come out and
Thanks
hang
for
out,
letting me be here.
promote the weekend. We'll see you back here Friday.
Sounds great. Looking forward to it. Can't miss it.
Bulls fans, we will see you back here at the PIA and Event Center Friday and Saturday night, and then we'll see you every week on the official place for all things Pueblo Bulls hockey, the Around the Horns Network.